The success story is a sell. This is real success. Your world is exactly what you are imagining it to be. I was thinking, oh, he's cute. And then I started looking, I was like, wait, why? Why is he cute? He's actually not cute. Why did I think he was cute? And then I thought, he looks like so-and-so from where I grew up. There were not a lot of super attractive people where I grew up. And I don't care if you're mad about that. We should handle suicidal ideation the same way addicts are taught to handle their addiction. Progress is born out of difference, conflict. If everything was hunky-dory, there's no reason to grow.
Shattered to unbreakable. Listen here, sweet sister. Whether you think you have one little crack or you are shattered into a billion pieces, this podcast is going to give you the resources, tools, and skills to help piece yourself back together to form a beautiful, unique, solid, and unbreakable masterpiece. You are listening to Shattered to Unbreakable, the Reclaim Podcast. Let's talk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Shattered to Unbreakable. I'm your host, Brandy Babin, as always, and we have a little bit something different today. I put all my thoughts in my little notes pad in my phone, and then I create an episode on each thought. But I thought, how fun would it be for me to just take you through the notes of my thoughts? So like inside Brandy's head on a day-to-day basis, what is she writing down? So I thought that would be fun. So I'm literally going to take you through basically the last probably 3 months of my thoughts. And that way, when you guys hear something that you like, or you're like, ooh, I want to hear more about that, you can comment and say, hey, can you do a whole episode on this or that? And I think it's going to be fun for you guys to see how all over the place my mind is on a regular basis. So the first thing that I have listed, which it's going to be most recent thoughts. So I'm starting at the top, which is where I put my most recent thoughts. And so I wrote, the success story is a sell. This is real success. And what I mean by that is we're all so interested in the success story. We're interested in the overnight person who became a millionaire, the person who went viral from one video, somebody who started a business and it just blew up overnight. And that story, the success story of I now have a mansion and I drive this car and I go on extravagant vacations. Look at me at this resort and in the infinity pool, and look at me in my 3-story house with my new car, and look at me. And so I just want to point out that those people may have found success in a way that society tricks us into believing what success might mean. But I can tell you that the big house, the fancy car, the millions of dollars, the vacations, those are all filling a higher need. They're filling a need. And if you already have those needs met, you're not necessarily so focused on filling it. So you might want status because of a need that's gone unmet in your life, maybe even from childhood. You might want wealth because of a need that you felt like is unmet. You might want extravagant vacations so that you could take pictures of yourself on those vacations and post them to fill a need of feeling valued or important, or like you're not struggling. But I can tell you this, every single person who is, quote, successful has the same issues you do. Same. Loneliness, overwhelm, feeling the not enoughness, struggling with purpose, wondering if you made the right choices, wondering if you're a good enough parent, wondering how to fix your marriage, wondering how to reconnect. All of these things everybody goes through, whether you are the lowest of the low or the highest of the high. These are all things we go through. So what if you could see your life as successful without all of these things that they're selling you? Success is being sold to you as a marketing strategy for you to buy their masterclass or buy their coaching or buy this product or take this, like get in this group coaching call, whatever. They're selling you success as they're presenting it, as society has trained you to see it. What if success is exactly how you're living your life right now if you just changed your mindset? And I'm learning in psychology, perception is how you see life. It is insane to think that what you see around you is actually not real. It's what you're perceiving. So if you look around you and you perceive that your life is in shambles, you will see evidence of that. If you look around you and you see your life as a success story, you will see evidence of that. Your world is exactly what you are imagining it to be. And when I was in the lowest of lows, I would look at this advice or look at this point of view and I'd be like, that's BS because I'm being abused and I can't find success in this story, right? But that wouldn't be true because look what happened. I made a choice. I got out away from that treatment. Or I could focus on this failure of now I don't have a marriage. Now I don't have a whole family. Now I've wasted so many years. Now I chose wrong. And now these are the consequences. I could live in that space where it's all doom and gloom and my life is a failure. Or I could live in this space of I was tricked and I fell for it, but I learned. I made a choice. I got out. I grew strong. I created a podcast for other women like me. I spread my purpose through pain. I helped other people escape this kind of trauma or heal from it. I can see it as a success or I can see it as a failure, but I will see it exactly as I perceive it. And the cool thing about that is you can change it at any moment. You can just decide that your life is successful. And if it isn't, you can make one decision to make it successful. How cool is that? And how mad are you that you're being sold a false success story to make you feel bad about your life so other people can make money off you? That makes me kind of mad. Next thing I wrote is, wait, this is a good one. Okay. I realized I am attracted to familiarity. It's actually not that I find this person attractive. It's that they look like someone from my past that's either familiar in a good way or familiar in a way that I have a chance to right a wrong or prove myself worthy for someone who didn't want me in my past. So I was thinking about this because I was thinking, oh, he's cute. And then I started looking, I was like, wait, why? Why is he cute? He's actually not cute. Why did I think he was cute? And then I thought, he looks like so-and-so from where I grew up. There were not a lot of super attractive people where I grew up. And I don't care if you're mad about that. There aren't. There's no supermodels where I grew up, y'all, myself included. So don't think I'm saying I am. But I see people who look like people that either would not date me and I wanted to date them or dated me and did me dirty or dated me and it was nice. Like it was a great relationship. And so I see people that look like those people and I'm like, oh, they're attractive. Nope. It's the familiarity I'm attracted to. It's the way to go back and either relive this story and, change the ending. It's this familiarity of I can go back in time and I can redo this. And it's all subconscious, right? But it's happening behind the scenes. And then when I realized like, oh my gosh, they are not cute. They just look like so-and-so. Oh my word. I need to reevaluate what's cute. Let's reevaluate what's cute. Okay. That was interesting. That helps me in my dating life because instead of dating familiar and ignoring financial security, emotional awareness and intelligence and humor, like having things in common, just being a genuinely good person, I was dating familiarity and potential, what I dreamed them to be instead of who they really were. Fixed that one right up. Okay, next one. This is a little heavy. I do still struggle with suicidal ideation at times, so trigger warning. I have my coping mechanisms, I have my support team, but there are times when it still comes back. And I'm not going to deny that, and I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, but I am going to be aware of it and have tools, and that's how you handle suicidal ideation. And so what I was thinking is, we should handle suicidal ideation the same way addicts are taught to handle their addiction. And what it is they say, I just won't do it today. So they teach you in AA, I'm just not going to drink today. I'm just going to not drink today. I'm just going to not have my next fix today. Because when you are in that place, you can't think about tomorrow because it's heavy and it hurts and you don't know how you're going to make it through. And you can't think about next week because it's heavy and it hurts and you know you're not going to make it through. And you can't think about next month or next year because there's no way you're going to make it that far because you can't handle tomorrow. Like, you can't handle yesterday. You can't handle right now. How are you supposed to get through a year? Like, that sounds overwhelming, right? So when you're struggling with suicidal ideation and you're just like, I don't want to go on another day. I just don't want to go on another day. And so you change that sentence to, I'm just going to stay here for one more day. I'm just going to endure one more day. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. I'm just going to stay here today. All right. So that's one thought that I had. Next thought. Oh, yeah. My strategy. You know how some people say you prepare for the worst, plan for the best? My strategy is I plan for the worst and I plan for the best. I always have two strategies. So there's really no reason to prepare for the worst, because if you plan for the worst, then if the worst happens, it's not going to do anything to you because you already planned it and you already planned it best. And so if you plan worst and you plan best, then your plan's always going to fall somewhere in the middle and it's going to work and everybody's going to be happy. No failures there. Okay, so I wrote, the point is to not all think the same thing. Generally in life, all of us. The most incredible and progressive discoveries and movements were born out of conflict. Two people disagreeing. What matters is not that we think the same, but that we listen to the counter argument. To have conversations of conflict in curious and respectful ways in order to progress to the next level of technology, exploration, and discovery. So if we all think the same way, we're not growing. So why are we all trying to think the same thing and force everyone to think the way we think when honestly we could just say, hey, I think this, what do you think? Oh, that's different than what I think. Let's explore that. Why do we both have different thoughts? Where are you coming from? Oh, here's where I'm coming from. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of it that way. How can we meet in the middle? Where's something that can, like, conversations that are curious and respectful? Progress is born out of difference, conflict. If everything was hunky dory, there's no reason to grow. So why do we have to be hunky or dory? We just grow. Okay. Oh, this was the first Lent that I failed almost every day. I think I only made it one day this Lent of doing what I said I would do. And it's crazy because usually I'm so proud of myself, right? Because I can do anything for God. And so every Lent, I've always succeeded. I've always done amazing. This is the first Lent I've done terrible. And I actually found God more in that failure, which is crazy. It's interesting to me. So the fact that I didn't have to be perfect to find God was really cool. Not that I think you should fail, but I'm just saying perception. I could sit here and wallow in the fact that I failed miserably this Lent and that I let God down. Or I can say, oh my gosh, I found you in this failure. It didn't feel good, but you were still there. You never left me, and I never left you. The perception. Perception is king. Okay. Interesting thing I've learned. I hesitated long enough to let them beg. Only those who deceive will beg. Begging should be a sign to run. When you are dealing with somebody and you decide this person isn't good for me, or this person is hurting me, or this person needs to be held accountable, you make the decision, you go. If you hesitate, even for a second, it gives them a chance to beg. And if anyone is begging you for anything that you've already decided on, they are doing it for their benefit. Has nothing to do with you benefiting. They don't care about you no matter what they say. They are literally begging you for their own good. They want you to change your mind so that they can have another crack at whatever's benefiting them. They don't want you to leave their life because they are benefiting from having you in it. If someone's begging, run away. Period. Okay, so this is something Father Mike said in the Hallow app. Resentment happens when you let one chapter be the name of your whole book. What is the title of your lens that you see your life through? What would be the title of your autobiography? In the prodigal son story, the brother that stayed, he didn't want to be with the father. He wanted the same separation of the younger son. And so you can get lost while living at home. Like he stayed, and yet he still longed to be away from his father, away from the home. He was wanting something different secretly, feeling like a slave the whole time you were the son, while the son that was separated has come back feeling unworthy of being the son and was content with the life of a slave. He was like, I'll come back and be your slave as long as I get to be here. And then the son that was, the good son that did what he was supposed to do, he secretly wished he could have had that separation from the father. And so the father says, I wasn't trying to burden you, I was trusting you. And then I said, the title of my autobiography would be Always Almost Enough. The journey of being lost at his feet. That would be my title. I do feel like I'm always almost there. I always almost have it. I do feel like that. And I've been, trying to change my perception on that. And as I'm seeing this always almost, I'm finding evidence of it. I can find so much evidence of me being almost but not quite good enough. And that's because that's what I'm focusing on. And so I do like the idea of the second part of my title being the journey of being lost at his feet. And that's a really deep, interesting way of saying, I'm here, Lord, I'm trying, but I'm so lost. I'm right here at your feet and I can't even see them. Like, I can feel them. I know there's feet right here, but I don't know if it's your heel, your toes, your ankle, the top, the bottom. I don't know if I'm upside down or right side up or laying down. I have no idea what's going on, but I am searching for your feet. And so that's where you're like, give me the eyes to see, give me ears to hear. Let's see, what else did I say? If you're alone, you should be praying. So we are meant to be in relationship. We were created to be in relationship. And so when we are not, when we don't have a friend around, when we don't have our kids around, when we don't have a significant other around, it can get really lonely. And I have found that being lonely challenges my faith, and it challenges my purpose, and it challenges who I think I am. So being alone is scary for me sometimes. And I've decided that I never am really alone if I don't choose to be, in a sense that God is always present. But when you're struggling, that whole chestnut of like, God's always with you. Like when you're alone, you're like, well, that doesn't help me right now. I still feel alone. There's no one here hugging me. There's no one here telling me I'm amazing. There's no one here like snuggling or anything. Like I'm alone physically. I'm alone. This is not fun. And don't tell me God's here with me because I don't feel it and I don't see it and I don't want to hear that. And so I decided that prayer is how I feel most connected to God, when I am in prayer. And so that's what I wrote to myself. When you're alone, you should be praying. Then you're never alone. Reminder to myself. This will be the last one. I have more, but this will be the last one. Ooh, okay, 2 more. So the next one says, I've never doubted my faith in God. I've doubted his faith in me. Oh man, every day, in every situation. I doubt his faith in me to be a mom to these 4 kids. I've doubted his faith in me to bring his message to you all. I've doubted his faith in me to have this podcast, to have self-published this book. I've doubted his faith in me to be Miss United Universe right now, a mentor to many. I have so many doubts in God's faith in me, but I've never doubted him. So it's interesting. But I have to trust that he thinks I'm cool and stuff. Right? Last one. Have you ever had someone beg you to tell them the surprise that you have for them? What's the surprise? Tell me the surprise. And then when they receive the gift after you tell them, it's just not the same because they already knew it was coming. So it's like, cool. Yeah. That's God leading us to a surprise. And we don't know how amazing it will be. And we demand to know out of impatience. I say we, meaning me. I want to know. God, I just want to know what's going on. Please, I don't like surprises anymore. Let's skip the surprise. Just tell me what's going on. And God's like, if I tell you, it won't be as cool when you get it. Can you just wait? The surprise is going to be so good if you can just wait. I said, sometimes we decide not to go and we miss the surprise altogether. Okay, so if it's a surprise party and someone's like, please come with me. Please come. Just trust me. Come with me. And you're like, no, I'm going to stay home. This God is like, come on, just trust me. Just come with me. Just come with me. And you're like, no, I'm going to stay here. Then you miss out on the surprise party. The coolest surprise party ever if God's throwing it. You know what I mean? And so I said, just go. Just do it. See what it is. I bet his surprises are way better than you ever dreamed. What a great way to end this episode. So that is notes on Brandy's phone. That's what I'll have to call this. A glimpse inside my brain on a day-to-day basis. I have such deep thoughts, and then I have to write them down. And then I'm like, I'll do a podcast episode on that. And then they never make it to a podcast episode because I have too many thoughts. I have like 100 episodes here, and I can't organize my brain to get them to you all. So I kind of like this like notes on Brandy's phone episode. I might have to do this every so often. So if you have any comments or questions on anything I said, shoot me a DM, text me if you know me personally, ask me questions. I gloss over these because I know what I'm thinking. So if you have any like, wait, what? That doesn't sound right. Or where did you get that from? Or how I like this. Explain this to me more. Just hit me up. I got you, sweet sister. Stay sparkly, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. I just wanted to remind you about the resources we have on the reclaimstrategy.com. That is Reclaim University with free downloads. It's the Reclaim Guidebook, access to Kintsugi classes and events. So go ahead and take a look. Also, please share this podcast with anybody that you think might need to hear these messages. And if you haven't already and you think we deserve it, give us a 5-star rating. That just helps our reach. So I love you guys. Stay sparkly, and we will see you next week.